Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. This is the Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Chechnya. And oh my god. We'll see how this goes. I think OBS is freaking out. But I've had some very interesting times recording recently. Could just be my PC's dying though. It's ancient piece of equipment. And looks like we're gonna need more resources. We're short rare tech metals for what we are doing. I think we're still rushing jets, right? Yep. We do have enough, really. We could... Alright, let's pop back over here. I don't see anyone we can trade with, really, that has available technology metals. But we're gonna go ahead and trade. Vietnam, we need all those. Afghanistan, Cuba, even. Alright. We'll just go with that. Yeah, we're gonna lose quite a bit of productivity from the local manufacturing side, but gotta do it. We have to modernize this military more. The Yeah, we do need to get all this stuff. Guess we finished vehicles already. Alright, so let's hop over to... Yeah, we do need to do all sorts of research, though. My god. Alright, so we got 2035 researches finishing up. We definitely don't need the power. Let's hop over to vehicles and get all the side stuff we're missing. Yeah, we're good on power for now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep pushing on some stuff. You do a bunch of infiltration stuff, but I would much rather start seeing our agents do some other work. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, the Urals. Alright, we're over in Ukraine over here. What do we have going on? I know we were getting info. Yeah, so they're wary of Europe as much as they are Belarus. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be messing with Ukraine. They have too big of a navy. That would just be highly inefficient for us. So I'm gonna take that agent. I think was her. And World tension reduction, diplomatic pressure. This lowers their stability. Yeah, we should be getting compliance strength up right now, which is good. I don't think any one of these is going to be any better than the other. How big is our ideology? Not very big. So we can boost ideology in here and bump in some civil wars. All right, we got our sys equipment. Let's see, how much research are we doing right now? Is it just this one? All right, well, just one. We're just gonna keep it to one, building equipment. Not gonna focus too much on the ships yet until we're done with our other research. I do know that from our intel, Sri Lanka actually is very well defended. Like, that is too many boats. They also have drones. A lot of predator drones. Looking drones. At least from the thumbnail. Just crazy. No boats, no airplanes, tons of land units that'll be really difficult for us to mess with. That's what we're gonna mess with. Alright. I'm curious if we could even do that, but yeah, we do need all these vehicle researches on top of the infantry. Point 9 is crazy. Psychological warfare. Us needing IFVs is very, very accurate. Let's keep doing it. Oh, and we're short. Yeah, we're gonna be short rubber too. Oh, that's just a nail in the coffin, isn't it? Power is okay. We need the military facilities. What's our tax rate at, actually? We're still over 30%. And what's our... Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on lowering this corporate tax rate. I want to free up more of our factories. We're pushing 30% are committed. Yeah, and this finish... is a straight productivity bonus. Definitely would be worth getting Sam's. Planes, how are we looking? We're not doing ahead of time research. So it's okay. We have no helicopters still. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on tank guns. Continue the vehicle research. Yep. Eliminate the Georgian president. We lose stability, but our domestic independence becomes free. Hmm. Yeah, let's check up on the Maldives here. Looks like our compliance growth is faster than our resistance, so we're doing better, but we're not there yet, right? Alright, our new Astrakhan air superiority light fighter is getting finished. So let's check that out. Need to make sure we do have somewhat of an air force. This is our interception and defense wing. One of our Astrakhan light fighter wings. Go ahead and add some more. Yep. Yeah, we're definitely gonna want another wing up there as well. I definitely want to go in with double the planes into any conflict. So let's keep whatever we can to double this. We're making almost a plane a day. So we could potentially start a conflict by 2040. That is also assuming we can get our IFVs and our tanks kind of settled as well. Alright, so we're going to need rubber and light metal. Where is trade? I got rubber here. We don't need that much. We just need one. One of each. And we're going to trade with the Urals. That's a much more... Oh, we do need tech metals again. That's rough. The power-wise, how are we actually looking? We could just build power plants. Yeah, I think we just build these factories first, finish up the naval yard and the military base. Get that settled. Alright, we're gonna want all the smoke, all the artillery shells. That way we can maximize our vehicles and forces on the ground. Artillery, infantry, and 80 actually has some. That's wild. I don't know where Karelia is. Kazakhstan, no, I think we know why. Malaysia. I mean, we could actually trade with them. We're going to go ahead and do it. Just kind of be like China, you know, trading with your enemies just to distract them. But it's not like we forgot what the Soviets, or I guess the Russians did. Sorry. So there is a little bit of a grudge. Like right off the bat, we were under pressure. Nobody needs to forget that. Not like this didn't start, or like this started for no reason. That was the CSTO that caused our initial strife. So let's be real. All right, we could modernize our infantry equipment, but I'm not going to do that right away. All right, so we got the older AWACS. We are getting 5th gen bombers. I'm not totally sold on getting anything else here. Like future AWACS, maybe. But yeah, I think we get future AWACS and just kind of get all set up with our air defense. I think that is the play. We'll do that. And then yeah, we're gonna have to get vehicles though. 100%. I am going to think about lowering our tax rate. I'm definitely going to think about it. Yeah, I'm going to pump a button. We need more factories back. I want us to have at least 3. And we have to trade the goods. So, production-wise, we definitely have to get this as high as possible. So I can't not have that. And this is worth a plane a day, which is a crazy thing for us to get as a 5th gen fighter every day. Like when we were averaging like 1.5 a year or something. So that's a huge difference. I see these airlift planes. We almost don't have enough to make a difference with like supplying over gaps. We would need a full 500 stack to supply this front alone. Yeah, we've got a couple boats. Definitely gonna go for IFVs though. Right now, I just kind of need them to distract the rebel forces down here. And we did finish up that strategic bomber. We can do 6th gen light fighters already though. That's interesting. It's like, do we really want to make that jump in tech? Is it beneficial to us for our immediate goals? No. Our immediate stuff is going to be right here. Getting both of these armors. Definitely this equipment. We definitely want to get this. Let's get our equipment. Oh. Yeah, we're just short a ton of vehicles. Jeez. The deficit of 1,000 IFEs right off the bat is not what we want to see if we're going to switch our Marines over. Not even a little bit. We did get one more naval yard. We have 24 we can work with. That's the hard thing about ships. You do have limited speed that you're going to be able to pump these out, but you can unless you add more docks to your production. So kind of limited by how much coastal surface area you have, which makes the Navy game a little bit more challenging. Yeah, I could see us needing to pump up every one of these by double. I get a second factory, and then like 5 here. And this is cheap. This doesn't have high-tech materials as a requirement yet. So I definitely think we need to look at making things better here. Planes. We did just get that bomber. Yeah, I'm not worried about like, carrier fighters at all. We did get our 15th factory. We're pushing a plane a day with less than 100% of production efficiency. And we'll have 30% more. So we can get up to like a plane and a half, probably, or maybe two. I don't think it'd be two. But that'll be interesting because that'll be a lot of vehicles. At least for us. Overall, in the global scheme, not really, but you know. I could bump military spending up, but we'll lower our stability and our workforce again. I'm really kind of trapped by those factors. So I'm not looking to do that. That would bump up our military production though quite a bit. Oh, looks like they want to invest. Everyone wants mutual investment treaties with us. Yeah, the faster their build speed is, I mean, the better it is for us because we can pump more money in, even if it's a lower price. All right, we're getting maxed ammunition. Looks like we had some other vehicle stuff finish up too, like engines. Not real sure the explosive reactive armor is beneficial to us. I know that these two will be, because there's some composites we have to put on vehicles. I want to see where these Cold War turbine engines are, though. That's where we want to be. Fire drone support finished. That's a huge bonus to breakthrough and soft attack. Alright, let's flip back over to armor, though. Get that going. And I do need to do the Stinger version, like 2025. Not assigning it a military factory. Just due to political power problems, but here we go here. We get a new factory out in Rostov. These are very important days for us before we get locked down into another conflict. Like, where are we getting missile silos and everything? Yeah, all these states. I definitely would rather have this state if they already have launch silos. But this one probably has pop. This has tech metal, so we definitely want to grab that. We did finish exosuits. We should have something pop up we can research. I'm pretty sure we have breakthroughs. But I could be wrong. Alright, let's go ahead and bump up our fighter support in these regions that we're working on. Another air wing. We're going to want air superiority there. I'm going to say we get 500 interceptors here. Put 500 here. And these will run air superiority over our own territories. So let's go southern Russia. Supply planes. This is the other key for our future. The Grozny cargo plane. That is a huge plane for us. Gives us airdrop capabilities. And outside our supply lines and making progress. This is so we don't stop going forward ever. And at this airbase, we can put 100 of these basically right now. So everybody's going to be on cargo. Everybody's going to be pushing. We need to get that number to 5. And I do agree that, especially as Chechnya with infantry, we should play an entrenchment defensive counterattack play style. I did see those comments. It's just, it's hard to do that. Like, especially if we switch over to IFVs and we don't have the equipment for sustained fighting and we end up taking more vehicle and equipment losses than we'd like. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily sustainable for us. It's going to depend completely, though, on how I align our resources to our equipment production. Because we're right now is not representative of what we can do. I would rather go for head strikes and maybe hold this line defensively and push in from naval invasions on Kazakhstan. Strategy wise, but yeah, it's a really tough decision because if we go to war and everyone blockades us, we're absolutely screwed. We can't do anything about it, right? And then if our modern infantry weapons aren't good enough, then we're just screwed. Sys, no equipment alignment. Looks like we actually have a fuel problem. I'm seeing this right. Daily gain went down to negative. That's an interesting thing to happen. Okay. Wasn't banking on being fuel negative, too. Ooh, that could be rough. All right, let's see. Productivity. I want to see 5 factories on IFVs going forward. Yeah, that's that Air Force pulling the fuel. All those new planes we're building. All right, we got early computer systems. People, that's a 5-year tree probably, or 6 that we have to have for every vehicle. Almost. I think anti-air is probably the only one that may not be applicable to. Good, our unemployment rate is going up. That means we are getting enough people, exceeding at least our factory production. Oh, how I'm gonna be mad if oil is our limiting factor. Well, we'll definitely have to risk it all in a fight with Kazakhstan at that point. Yeah, so we would be armored infantry and mechanized brigades make up the majority with a lot of special forces divisions, actually. How's this Air Force looking? I'm not worried about the close air support. As bad as that is, it's not the worst thing. I'm really looking at these multi-role backup fighters that they have almost 1,000 of. The 50 more air superiority, so they have 1,000 airplanes. They have carrier light fighters. Are they working on a naval group to put in the Caspian Sea? That would be actually insane. Let's just have one carrier and it's got. Oh, I would be so mad. I'd have to design a naval like attack craft just for that. Any number of our fighters could take that out though, so I don't know. I don't know about that one, guys. All right. Well, we're just gonna put some investment money into somewhere and then I mean, maybe not anywhere. What about Afghanistan? Yeah, we'll just invest in Afghanistan. Or not. Pakistan. They took one investment but not another? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode as we continue our preparations for any kind of future improvements we need to make. I do think we need to actually make some moves. So we need to focus on some targets we can actually start integrating and puppeting that have resources that are more our combat level. So Chechnya here is probably a good one with the steel and a little bit of tech, like a dribble of tech metals. Somalia has oil, which is more prevalent now in our decision making. Yeah, I don't see them being protected. How they have a navy, I'll never figure out, but they do have a bunch of corvettes. All right. Anyway, we'll stop here. I'll continue the research in the next episode as we figure out what our prime target's going to be with our spies and work through this little dilemma we find ourselves in.